What is going on, you guys? It is your boy, The Wizard here, back with another album ranking. Today, we are ranking all 6 albums that are currently out by the band Ghost, the heavy metal, doom metal sometimes a little funky band that came out in 2010 with their debut. And I grew to love this band after Mary on a Cross became so viral and popular. And I started listening to all their albums from start to now. And I grew to love them so much. They are an insane, awesome, very controversial looking band. So if you're not into the real, like, blasphemous, demonic, satanic type shit that their view of like their look is. If you're not a big fan of that, I don't think you'll really find much out of this band. But if you're into that look and and you don't really care and you like the sound of their music, like from Mary on a Cross to Square Hammer to Call Me a Little Sunshine, which got really big from their last 5th album. Then I think you'll really, really dig some of their albums. Now, for me, I'll get into this soon, I'm not a big fan. Not a huge fan of 2 of their albums, but I'll get into that when we start the ranking. So we will go ahead and get started right now. Starting with number 6, an album I am so not ready to talk about at all. It is their second album, Infestism, ma'am? Something like that. It's really odd. I don't understand it. I don't know what to say about this album other than I hate it. I don't like this album. I cannot stand this album. This album is fucking awful and I can't get through it. I remember the first time I heard it. I don't remember hating it, but I don't remember liking it, and I don't remember ever going back to really any of the songs except for one, and that is Body and Blood. That song is a killer track, and it sounds completely different than anything on the album. The rest of the album is, when I brought this up earlier, yes, they have a satanic look to them, and they're very church look, like they wear like the Pope outfits and stuff, and their whole set on tour is a church, like I guess the Catholic Church, I think they call it. And while I find that cool, yeah, that's awesome, I don't really care, it doesn't offend me at all. This album's sound and lyrics and overall vibe are just god awful, and I can't stand the satanic imagery in this album because they bring it up as if it should be praised, and I'm not one of them people that would do that. So with them shoving it down your throat, Satan, 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 it kind of just it's distasteful in a way. Like I can't listen to it and enjoy it, and like all the songs are constantly this dark sounding bunch of bullshit that I never got into. I never could get into the sound of this album. It just didn't sit well with me. On the second listen that I just had to do for this ranking, I dreaded it the entire 47 minutes. And I hate it more now than I ever did before. The first listen wasn't this bad. Now, looking back on it, yeah, this album is fucking awful. And I cannot stand it. If you're a Ghost fan and you love this album and some of the songs on it, I'm not going to be mad. I just won't understand. But it's okay. The Body and Blood song is the best song. And actually, one of my favorite Ghost songs, because I used to listen to it a lot back in the day. But other than that, you have songs like Year Zero, Goulet Zombie Queen, which is a 7-minute bore fest of a song. But that was the only song that made me kind of go, okay, this one could be alright. But the more it went on, I was like, mother of God. I was like, oh man. I just couldn't stand it. I just couldn't get with it. So yeah, this album's not for me, and if you're not a big fan of their look or how they do their shit, definitely stay away from this album. Do not give it a listen. Don't even try. If you want to listen to Body and Blood, go ahead. That's actually a great song. It might inspire you to listen to the album, but then you'll be disappointed. So yeah, that's why I give Infesta whatever the fuck a 25%. I can't do it. No, there's no way. I'm not going to do it. I can't listen to this album. Anyways, moving on to number 5. We have their debut, Opus Eponymous. This album rocks. This is such a step up from their second album, and it was their first album. Why they couldn't just continue with this sound to their second album? Who knows? But this album has some really good songs. They pronounce it Elizabeth, Stand By Him, Ritual. Genesis is a really good song on there. There is some, like, Satan prayer that I couldn't get into. Not necessarily for me, but I gotta say, the instrumentals on these songs are so good. The band is so tight and all together, really bringing it all together in such a way that you're like, wow, this sounds like old school heavy metal. I love this, and I love the vocals on it, even though his vocals are a little quiet on this album. Like, I guess they were just mastered weird. But the guitars, the riffs, the drums especially, the drums are amazing. Yeah, I really dug this album, and I really thought that looking back on it, I was like, I love it more than I did before I heard it the first time, because I had to go back and re-listen to all these albums to do this album ranking. And yeah, it was a very interesting listen. While I'm not a huge fan of this album, this was the 2 albums I was talking about at the beginning. Well, I'm not a huge fan of this album, and I wouldn't go back to it a lot. Like, Ritual, I would so listen to again. Stand By Him, I'd give a spin again. But there's some other songs that I just couldn't really get into, and sometimes the production isn't as good, which that's another thing I forgot to mention on their second album before. The production on that album is shit. But, but this album, the production is really good, but just not good on every song, and some of his vocals can be more quiet than the instruments being louder, and you can tell, but I have to cut them some slack because it is their first record, so, you know, I gotta cut them some slack. So yeah, that's why I give Opus Eponymous a 90%. Pretty solid 9 out of 10 record. I think it's great. I really do. It's a good record. It's a great debut, too. Okay, moving on to number 4. This is where we get into that near-perfect territory. Number 4, we have Impera. I know it's a little bit more of a newer record, but man, when this record came out, I remember listening to it, I think when it actually was first came out, it blew me away. I was very surprised by this album. I had heard the singles, I think, before the album came out. I think they had Spillways as a single and Call Me a Little Sunshine. But man, this album is filled with bangers. I'm talking Kaiserion, Spillways, Call Me a Little Sunshine, Hunter's Moon, Watcher in the Sky. Darkness at the Heart of My Love is an insane ballad from them that you wouldn't have ever thought you would hear from them. And Griftwood, and personally one of the best songs on the album, Respite of the Spitalfields. That song gives me goosebumps because the ending half of that song with the amazing guitar solo riff, whatever it is, that just kind of fades out the entire song for the last 2 minutes, maybe, gives me goosebumps because the album starts with that guitar solo riff and it ends with that guitar solo riff. Very intriguing. I loved that about it. And, but one thing I will say that kind of sets it back and why it's at number 4 is because it has a really bad song on it. It sounds like it could have been on Infestatiza, whatever the fuck. Oh my god. The song 20s. No. It is laughably bad. The lyrics are horrible. There's something about him saying they're gonna be swimming in moolah, and then they're gonna all touch their hoo-has. That's a rhyme in the song. I'm sorry. I can't listen to that. No, I'm not going to. That was just the one song that really kind of set the album from being perfect. It is so near perfect. Every song and even the instrumental tracks, like the interludes, are awesome. And they all have this certain sound that fits with the vibe of the album cover and the album and the lyrics and what it's talking about and stuff. And it was really great. And then 20s just comes along and it's no, I'd rather listen to mud drip off of some fat dude's back. I don't know. That's just an analogy I brought up. I guess that works. But other than 20s, every single song is a banger. And I could so listen to this album on repeat for a while. Except for 20s. 20s is an automatic, I guess that's the word. It's a straight skip. Never listening to it again. So yeah, that's why I give Impera a 99%. Near perfect, as if it just didn't have that one song on it. Okay, moving on to the top 3. We're moving on to the top 3, everybody. Here we go. Number 3, we have Prequel. This album is so good. It is so good. On my second listen again, I had a blast with this album. I loved it more than I ever did the first time I heard it. And there's so many good songs on here. Such a heavy album. It's about the plague, the Black Plague, I think. And like songs like Rats, Faith, See the Light, Dance Macabre. Oh my God, Life Eternal is probably one of their best closers ever. And Witch Image was really good. There was another one, Miasma. I think that's how you say it, Miasma. It's a 5-6 minute instrumental track where it's just all the band playing together, doing their fucking thing. And then a saxophone comes in. And the sax player plays his heart out. And it's awesome. It was such a good track. But yeah, other than that, this album is near perfect. I can't remember why I don't think it's as perfect. But I think it's because there was one instrumental track, I can't remember the name of it, there's one instrumental track near the end of the album that didn't go really, it didn't hit for me like Miasma did, I think that's how you say it. I'm really hoping I'm not botching that. But Miasma was such a good track, then that instrumental track was just kind of underwhelming and kind of like, why is it on the album? Couldn't you have made just another full-length, lyrical song? But I don't know, I guess it was my only, like, real opinion about the album that, kind of set it back from being a 100%. So yeah, that's why I give Prequel a 99%. Near perfect. Killer album, I definitely recommend it. Okay, number 2. This might be a little bit of a controversial take, because it might be recency bias. But number 2 is Skeletor. I remember listening to this album last year when it came out, that Friday. I put my earbuds in, and I don't even think I heard a single off the album. I think I went into this blind. And it opened with Peacefield. If you have never heard this album, don't listen to any of the singles off of this album and go straight into it blind. And tell me that opening few minutes of Peacefield doesn't give you goosebumps. Because it did for me. The choir, the beautiful angelic vocals. I was in heaven, which is not good to say when you're listening to this band. But man, It was amazing. Then you have Lacrium, Satanized. And that's something I want to bring up. Aside from Infestatism, whatever, the reason what I was saying about them being really satanic on that album, they're still satanic on these albums that I've been listing so far. But they do it in such a way that is more upbeat, not as in your face, we're satanic, and more of just about in the album, it's in within the story and it means something. It's a metaphor for something. In Infestatism, they didn't do that. They just straight up was like, Hail Satan. That's what we're about. And nobody, I don't think I didn't appeal to that. With this album, like Satanized, it means something to be Satanized in the song. It's more of like saying he's possessed by something. And that's why I was like, this is a really fun song, and it's catchy, and the riffs on this entire album are insane. The guitar solos on this album are insane. The vocals, Tobias Forge, this is his best vocal performances ever on this album. Guiding Lights is one that I can bring up, that his voice is angelic, just like on Life Eternal. Amazing. And then I'd have to say every single track meets the mark. There is not a single track I think I ever went, that was okay, or I didn't really like that one, or that one wasn't as good as this one. No, every track I was like, I'm in this. This is so epic and awesome, and it sounds awesome, and just the 80s synths and the 80s like glam metal sound to it, arena rock, like Def Leppard sounding shit. It was awesome. I don't really think I have one bad thing to say about this album. So yeah, that's why Skeleta's at number 2, and that's why Skeleta is a 100%. For sure. Umbra is another amazing song. There's some other ones I can't really name because they're like, Swedish, I think, so I can't really speak it. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, that's why I give Skeleta 100%. It is a perfect album. Yeah. Okay. Number 1, probably one that you guys could have guessed this was going to be my number 1, probably from the start, if you know anything about Ghost and their albums, and probably y'all's favorite too. My number 1 is Meliora. This album is something special. Songs like Spirit, From the Pinnacle to the Pit, Cerise being their best song they've ever came out with. He Is, Majesty, Absolution. I think this is how you say it. Deuce in Absentia? I think that's how you say it. That was a good song. I know a lot of people say Mummy Dust. And Mummy Dust is a very fun, like, crazy song that you just have to love. But yeah, this album is something special. After the success of their first album, and their sound on that album, then they went to Infestatism. Fuck that album. Then they come in with Meliora as their third album. They perfected their sound in a way that they have never went back to. Because they're trying new things, and I understand that. Arena rock, right? You know. This album has such a distinct sound of straight heavy metal, doom metal, hell, almost industrial metal to me. I think they really came into their own sound here and really polished it nicely. The vocals are clean. He sounds great on this album. He fits everything he's saying. You really sit there and think about, and you really are just like into the story. If you look up what the story of this album is, I can't remember exactly how to put it together, but everything he's saying fits perfectly within this album, and it is a great listen. It's very heavy, head-banging, just all around epic. Like, honestly, it's just an epic album, and truth be told, at one point I had Skeleta above this album, but on my second listen, I just knew. I was like, no, this is Ghost. This is how this was meant to be. and it's perfect. I love this album. I have it on vinyl. Same with Impera. And I will definitely be playing this album for sure on my record player every time I can get to, every chance I get. So yeah, that's why I give Meliora a 100%. Their best album, for sure. I'm pretty sure they'll come out with some more albums again in the future. But until then, this is my ranking. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next album ranking. I probably will do Stone Temple Pilots next, most likely. All right, take care, you guys. Peace.